Thanks, Lukash, for introducing me, and thanks everyone for coming for this talk today. This is my first English talk. I hope it will be good and you like it. Thank you. Okay, let's start. I remember myself at school where we had 10 computers as class and only one of them was working. We had also 10 students in the class and we had to share this computer somehow, right? So it's definitely a problem, and nowadays it's not a problem at all, but there were times, yeah, it's a problem, but we are not going to solve it today. The sharing account I will talk about is about the your credentials that you share with your friends and family members and everyone around when you buy application and share, so that everyone uses the application. It's one case. Another case is when someone steals your credentials and uses your account. So you paid it, but someone else is using it except of you. And it's a security problem, right? Obviously. But companies don't think so, and usually they think about revenue, right? So they want to improve their revenue. This the goal number one of every commercial company. And exactly this problem we had in our application. So there were some members, users that were sharing their credentials, and obviously looking at their revenue, how it's dropping, we saw that there is a problem and we have to solve it somehow. So I personally don't like very complicated solutions. And first of all, when I face with the problem, I try to analyze and see what the possible solutions and stick with the simplest one that would be just enough for us. There are various solutions that cope with this problem that I specified. Actually, first of all, it's a third-party solution. For example, fingerprint. There is such service. Obviously, it's just ready solution. You just rely on their solution. They actually own your data, and that's the problem number one. That you don't have all means to analyze the data. So you don't own the data, and you cannot analyze it. And also, additionally, you have to implement some solution inside your application, somehow integrate it and write custom code. So basically, it's not so easy as it sounds in the beginning. There are also solutions like analyzing logs, looking into IP addresses, user agent, and maybe some another additional information that is parsed out of these things like location and so on and so forth. We actually tried to implement them, but it turned out it's not so easy, first of all. And secondly, we could not find some 100% solution that would be precise enough for us. So we just abandoned this solution and tried to. One article that we found on the internet said that multi-factor authentication can improve the situation. Yes, obviously it sounds like a good idea, right? So we just turn on multi-factor authentication for our users, and we just prevent just complicate things during login. That's it. So that means that theoretically this solution can improve the situation around the problem. But for how much? how much we gain if we implement this solution? It's a good question. Like, if you turn this solution for everyone, would it really improve the situation? Because it's a risky factor for users, so that they would not like this solution and just start to leave the application. These are the questions we faced with, and trying to implement multi-factor authentication. One second. So how to deal with this problem? Like, how to understand if we enable multi-factor authentication for our application, would it improve the situation or it will make it worse? So this is the question we are going to solve. How to solve it? If look at the construction business, they have scaffolding idea. Like, before starting some project, they build scaffolding, and around it they build some buildings, right? When we face with a similar problem to starting a project, IT project, in IT project we have data, but inside our application we actually didn't have enough data to prove, to see if the situation would be better after implementing multi-factor authentication. So we had to collect this data in the beginning. Thinking this way, we have come up with the following plan: collecting data, then identifying some indicators that would tell us the situation is getting worse or better, and then we had an idea to enable multi-factor authentication not for everyone, but only for those users that definitely share account. So this is how we kind of differentiate our risks when we implement this kind of potentially good solution. These indicators that we have come up with, it's the number of signups per day. Per period, actually, we wanted to see how the situation is going on during week, month, and so on. Next is user retention. It just would show how many active users are still there inside the application, and a number of login sessions per user. By the way, in the beginning we did not have all this data inside our application. I mean, specifically login sessions. We didn't have this concept. We could not just understand who is sharing the account at this moment. And also, of course, we could see the revenue inside Stripe. We wanted to watch it, obviously, because we expected that the situation is not getting worse, at least. And obviously, this is our expectations. Something should go up, something should go down. Specifically, login sessions per users, number of login sessions per user should be dropping, and everything else should grow. When it comes to collecting data, first of all, we relied on a paper trail gem. It's easy gem, just you install for existing Ruby on Rails application. By the way, another way to collect the data would be to implement data sourcing. No, I know Rosal RB is promoting this idea of event sourcing, and is actually a good use case where if we had this in the beginning of our application, it would help us to collect the data. But again, we didn't have it, so we just wanted to come up with some easy solution, and paper trail gem is good enough for this. And next is login sessions table. Login sessions table is just a model that would represent login session, obviously. Every time, the idea is the following. Every time when user logins, we just create a record inside our database and inject its ID inside cookies session. And this is how we identify the active session, the active current session for every user, because it comes with every request that is coming after login this way. Next, we had to analyze our data somehow and represent it for us in easy way, so that we understand how the situation is. Is it getting better or is it getting worse again? And we use Metabase for this. It allows to represent data in an easy way with charts, with numbers, and basically, yeah, charts and numbers. There are different ways of representing the data, and as a good tool. The good thing is that it's easy to set up this thing, because they have Docker. The installation takes about 5 minutes. Just install it, configure, put in the URL to your database to connect, and that's it. Basically, you are ready to start using it. Okay, and these are our results after implementing our solution and idea. So you see that in the beginning, the number of login sessions per user was growing. Looking by you can see that by looking into the average of login sessions per user. After that, we started to enable multi-factor authentication periodically every week for users that violate our rules. And you see that somewhere in November, right, it started to drop, meaning that number of login sessions per users was decreasing, slowly, but decreasing. By the way, in order to write, in order to prepare the data to represent it, we had to write custom SQL. Yeah, without SQL, it will be hard actually to deal with these charts. Yeah, so learn SQL. This is the situation for users without multi-factor authentication, meaning that we just there will be always some users that don't share accounts, so that we don't need to enable multi-factor authentication for them, and this is the situation for them. We also watched for this, and this is just the situation for all users. It also shows that everything is going better. Another chart shows login sessions summary, basically for all users, but not per user, but just total number. And we also watched how it's you see that it's increasing. Basically, it means that users are using the application. This chart shows retention of users. Basically, yeah, it would be hard to understand. I will try my best to understand it. But the idea is the following: it just shows how many users of active users still remain on a specific day, because there is when users sign up, they obviously use the application, but for how much time? I mean, some users drop after 1 day, some need 1 week, and someone needs 1 year, right? And for that reason, you see that the right part of this chart is going up exactly for this reason, because users that sign up recently still remain in the system. But we can see that the situation here is also positive. This is the situation for signups. So our expectation was that the number of signups per day would be increasing. And yeah, so you see that it's not so obvious. The situation is a bit wavy here. Especially in December. Yeah, in the beginning, we had no data, we had not enough data. That's why you see that it's close to 0. But then the situation was improving. December was not good month in sales at all, but nevertheless there was some sales. And basically, if we draw regression line, we can detect that the situation is improving, and is improving significantly. Just 27% gain after implementing this solution. So yeah, we can say that it's a successful story, right? So multi-factor authentication indeed improves the situation around account sharing. So, and the impact is significant. Basically, plus 27% signups per day, average. But there are some other factors that could impact it. For example, organic search. It was also increasing for the application, meaning that we cannot say exactly how much the impact was. But at least looking into the charts, specifically to the number of login sessions per users, that was positive, and the total login sessions at all, meaning that the application is being used, we can claim that basically the situation got improved, and improved significantly. Next, I will describe how we managed to basically some details, technical details about how exactly we implemented this. First of all, multi-factor authentication was implemented using device two-factor gem. We had inside this application device already installed, so we just had to install this another gem and just configure it. By the way, we didn't have phone number of users, that's why we just use email to send the verification code for users. For us, it was just enough. And yeah, we just remember every time one user passes authentication code, we remember this for 30 days in cookies. Next, we had to track somehow this. You remember, we had to create login session record every time when users log in, and fortunately, device, specifically Warden, that device uses, provides hooks that we can use and leverage this opportunity in order to implement such things like after login do this, after logout do this. And here you see that after login, we just try to record login session. And every time when someone calls inside the application current user, the run comes to this hook that tries to log out, meaning that if current login session is expired, for example, we can every time say that this login session is expired. That's why we can every time when someone tries to get current user, we just additionally see if the related login session is active, and if it's active, we just pass, so meaning that current user is there. If it's expired, this way we just log out and current user will give nil. And after every logout, we just expire login session. This is just needed again to see and collect the statistics. These are details, some details about record login methods, deactivate, maybe logout MFA that you saw on the previous slides. When it comes to record login and deactivate, it's pretty obvious what they do. Maybe logout, as I already said, we just see if the current conditions should just deactivate the current login session, and just do this. Maybe logout MFA means it tries to deactivate the session for users that have not passed multi-factor authentication, but for some reason they got enabled it. This is how we just force logout and try and ask them to pass login and authenticate through multi-factor. This details about how we create login session, how do we record actually it. By the way, what is important here is that iOS app token and secure UID line. It actually means that we actually had two applications. Like inside, we had a mobile application that is iOS application that was implemented using authentication token, gem. Again, it's just extension for device. And usual login session for browser. That's why we just use for iOS application, we just used their token of this gem, and for our for login session inside browser, we just used our own concept that is UID. What is also interesting here is that we also record CloudFront headers. Actually, all requests inside our application pass through CloudFront, and AWS CloudFront. It's a service that is kind of proxy, and they have a cool feature that you can optionally enable. They just collect all information about the request. I mean, IP, they parse the IP and detect location. And there is a lot of information actually, even latitude and longitude of this point. But yeah, it sounds great, but actually, in fact, you know that it's not easy thing to detect exactly where the user is. And from practice, it doesn't work exactly how we expected. When it comes to the next plans, we are going to implement the following step. We are going to limit the login session per user, so that every user has exactly maximum four login sessions allowed. And if this number is exhausted, every time when they log in, they will see this model and they have to decide which login session should be expired. Basically, we expect that this will be a final solution. And just again, in order to implement this solution, we just are going to implement it based on the preparation data that we used for multi-factor authentication. Is just kind of side effect that was possible for us. And takeaways. Yeah, first of all, what I wanted to say is that every time when you face with the situation and you just see that you are trying to implement some feature that is very hard to predict how will impact to the application, just stop and think, try to define some indicators that would show you how the situation will go. Would it be better or worse? Analyze your data. And in order to analyze the data, you need to learn SQL. And yeah, our success story is multi-factor authentication is definitely improving health of your application. If you have some questions, thank you. I'm ready to answer them.
Thanks. So I have one question. Why did you finally decided to stop the limit on the number of 4? Because like from my side, from my perspective, the number of 4 seems like enough number to share your account with your friends or with your family. Like, and it's not very often case for users to use their own account on 4 devices at the same time. For example, like I can use same application at my laptop and at my mobile phone, at probably some third device, but not for, and usually it's 1 or 2 devices for one user. Why did you decide to do a limit of 4? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah, so it's first of all it's specifics of our application. First of all, our users use the application from different devices, like desktop browser, mobile browser, iOS application, and we are going to launch React Native application that will be iOS and Android. So basically, this was one explanation, right? And another explanation is just business. Client wants this. Why? I, to be honest, don't know why. I have no exact answer to this question, but mainly is because users use the application from different devices, and it's okay for us. And also, that we also understand that we cannot solve this problem 100% for sure. For that reason, we have to find some compromise. For number 4 looks good for us because basically looking into the history, we just see that users will use just 4 devices. If would they be able to share the account? Yes, definitely. But again, how many users will be there inside the system, and what the impact will be on the revenue? Probably it will not be big, That's why it's not a problem.
Sorry if I missed it during the talk, but how do you decide which user should have this MFA enabled? Is it manual, or maybe you have some script with some rules and you do it automatically?
Yeah. So we have SQL query that actually identifies how many login sessions per users there. So we just watch this number, meaning that if one user has 4 and more, right, login sessions, active current sessions, we just decide to enable MFA for them.
Thank you.
So I have question regarding sharing of credentials, but not in form of username and password, but in form of cookies. So let's say some sophisticated user shared cookies with another user. Do you protect against that?
No.
Thanks.
So you had a slide with the different options that were considered, and maybe I just missed it, but I would like to hear more about why MFA with a second device or MFA with an authenticator application were deemed not, I don't remember, like not suitable for the company or for the business, and what it was about MFA via email that made that option for MFA suitable.
Yeah, thanks for the question. Actually, we first of all didn't want to distract our users. The idea was that we don't need take any additional actions from users and collect some data from them. Specifically, we didn't have their phone number. That's why we could not consider the option with sending code to the phone number. When it comes to authenticator application, is additional step for users, meaning that it's a risk again. So if we force them install this application, maybe we can lose them. So that's yeah, we had to come up with some simple solution that has minimum distraction and effective user experience. That's why.
Thank you, Andrei, for great presentation. I have a question because I see a weak point. Have you observed like users that drop their accounts and create a new with new credentials, just creating new email which is shared between friends, and then they can just use share the email and they can just log in. So you get the point. It's not a full solution, but have you checked logs or something to see if this is happening actually?
Yeah, it's a great question. First of all, no, we have not analyzed these logs, but I think that we should consider this solution. And you see that it's more advanced solution, but we have to start with something, and this is just first step. Yeah, so the main thing is revenue. It stopped dropping, and we are happy with this.
We have time for one more question. Anyone?
What does this application do?
Okay, it's education application for musicians. It sells courses for basically classes for musicians.
Right. Thank you, Andrei, for answering. Once again, big applause for the first speaker.